Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. OK, let's delve deep into the intricacies of why you might encounter the ext4 failed to create a file system with block size less than 4 KB error and how to troubleshoot and resolve it. I'll provide a comprehensive guide, including technical details, code examples, where applicable, and explanations to ensure you understand the underlying principles. Understanding the error, ext4 failed to create a file system with block size less than 4 KB. This error message indicates that you're attempting to format a partition or disk using the ext4 file system, and you're specifying a block size smaller than the minimum allowed by the mkfs.ext4 utility, or its equivalent. Why does this limitation exist? 1. Performance and overhead asterisk. Metadata overhead asterisk. File systems like ext4 need to store metadata about files and directories. Smaller block sizes mean that the file system needs more metadata blocks to track the location and attributes of data. This significantly increases the metadata overhead, especially on larger volumes. Internal fragmentation asterisk. Although smaller blocks can theoretically reduce internal fragmentation, wasted space within a block when a file is smaller than the block, the increased metadata overhead can negate any benefits. I/O operations asterisk. Reading or writing small files stored on tiny blocks can require many I/O operations to different locations on the disk, leading to slower performance. Modern disks and storage controllers are optimized for larger, sequential reads and writes. Smaller block sizes essentially force them to behave in a less efficient manner. 2. Design and implementation asterisk. The ext4 file system was designed with a minimum block size of 4 KB to optimize for modern hardware and workloads. Certain data structures and algorithms within ext4 rely on this minimum size. The development team likely made a conscious decision to prioritize performance and scalability over supporting smaller block sizes. Supporting smaller block sizes would add significant complexity and maintenance burden. When might you encounter this error? Using older utilities/options asterisk. You might unintentionally specify an invalid block size when creating the file system. Loopback devices/image files asterisk. When creating a file system inside a loopback device, example a.img file, it's possible you're trying to format it with an inappropriate block size. Embedded systems, potentially in very limited, low-resource embedded systems, there might be a perceived need for smaller block sizes, though ext4 may still not be the best choice in these scenarios. Consider alternative file systems designed for resource-constrained environments, see below. How to troubleshoot and resolve the error. 1. Verify your command asterisk. Double-check the command you're using to create the ext4 file system. Make sure you haven't explicitly specified a block size smaller than 4096 bytes, 4 KB. The standard command format is usually where /dev/sdxn is the partition you want to format, example /dev/sda1, /dev/sdb2. If you're using the B option, to specify the block size, make sure it's at least 4096. Important asterisk. In most cases, you should not need to specify the block size explicitly. The mkfs.ext4 utility will choose a reasonable default based on the partition size. Let it do its job. 2. Check disk/partition size asterisk. Use tools like fdisk, parted, or lsblk to verify the partition's size. Ensure it's large enough to warrant an ext4 file system. Very small partitions might be better suited for other file system types, see alternatives below. 3. Default settings asterisk. If you've been experimenting with mkfs.ext4 options, try running it without any explicit options. This will use the default block size and other settings. If this works, it indicates that the issue was with a specific parameter you were passing. For loopback devices and image files *. When working with loopback devices, ensure that the image file is created with an appropriate size before you try to format it. Remember to detach the loopback device when you're finished, sudo lozitook d/dev/loop0. 5. Consider alternatives *. For very small partitions/storage *, if you're dealing with exceptionally small partitions or storage devices, example a few megabytes, ext4 might not be the most efficient choice. Consider these alternatives. FAT32/XFAT * commonly used for smaller storage devices, USB drives, SD cards, and offer good compatibility across operating systems. Use mkfs.vfat to format these file systems. ext2 * a simpler predecessor to ext4. It lacks journaling, which means it's less robust against power failures but can be a good option for read-only or infrequently written file systems. Squashfs * a compressed, read-only file system often used in embedded systems and live Linux distributions. It's very efficient for storing static data. Littlefs * a power loss resilient embedded file system. Designed for NOR flash and SPI flash. YAFS * a file system specifically designed for NAND flash memory. UBIFS * a file system specifically designed for NAND flash memory in embedded systems. 6. Check for file system corruption *. Sometimes, if a partition has been incorrectly formatted or has suffered data corruption, the mkfs.ext4 utility might fail. You can try zeroing the partition to ensure it's clean before formatting. Warning *, this command will completely erase all data on the specified partition. Make sure you have the correct partition identifier, /dev/sdxn, and that you have a backup of any important data before running this command. Once zeroed, try formatting again, sudo mkfs.ext4/dev/sdxn. 7. Update utilities *. Ensure that your mkfs.ext4 utility and other file system tools are up to date. Older versions might have bugs or limitations. Use your distribution's package manager. 8. Kernel version, less likely. In very rare cases, an outdated kernel might have issues. However, this is unlikely to be the cause unless you're running a very old Linux distribution. 9. Hardware issues *. Disk errors can sometimes manifest as file system creation failures. Run a disk check using FSCK or the manufacturer's diagnostic tools to rule out hardware problems. However, in such scenarios, you are more likely to see I/O errors directly rather than an error specifically about the block size. Code examples and explanation. While there isn't specific code you'd write to fix this error, it's more about using the correct tools and options. Here are examples to illustrate the key points. Explanation of the code *. /bin/bash, shebang line, indicating that the script should be executed with bash. Partition equals /dev/sda1, sets the partition variable. Important *, be extremely careful when setting the partition variable. Formatting the wrong partition can result in data loss. Sudo mkfs.ext4 $partition, formats the specified partition with ext4 using the default settings. The sudo is necessary because formatting partitions requires root privileges. B4096 specifies a block size of 4096 bytes, 4 KB. If $EQ0 checks the exit code of the mkfs.ext4 command. An exit code of 0 indicates success. Echo prints messages to the console. Example 3 *. This example intentionally attempts to create an ext4 file system with a block size of 1024 bytes, 1 KB. It demonstrates the error you're likely to see. Key takeaways *. The ext4 failed to create a file system with block size less than 4 KB. Error is a deliberate limitation of the ext4 file system. In almost all cases, you should not need to specify the block size explicitly when creating an ext4 file system. Let the mkfs.ext4 utility choose the appropriate default. Double-check your command's syntax and partition sizes. Consider alternative file systems if ext4 is not appropriate for your specific needs. Be extremely careful when using dd or other commands that can erase data. By following these steps and understanding the reasons behind the limitation, you should be able to troubleshoot and resolve the ext4 failed to create a file system with block size less than 4 KB error effectively. Remember to adapt the examples and suggestions to your specific situation and always prioritize data safety. Good luck.